Hey, it's Lauren with Bargain Bead Box. Today we're going to be making a multi-strand turtle bracelet using the Sunken Treasure collection. Really excited to get started, so let's do this. Okay, so today from the box we're using our head pins, lava stone in antique bronze, these crystal rondelle beads in teal, the little orange window beads, some of the antique bronze bicone spacers, one of our shell charms, and of course one of our turtle beads. So let's get to it. I'm using a few basic findings from the Bead Box Bargain store, or you can absolutely use from your stash if you got them. So I've got some clamshell bead tips. These are Find 2501. I'm just using the pack of Find 1101 crimp beads that I have on hand because they're already open, and I'm going to cover it up with antique bronze, so I'm not too picky about what the color are for this. And I'm going to use a TOG 702 magnetic clasp. If you like, you can totally use the toggle clasp that comes with the box. I'm just a big fan of magnetic clasps for bracelets. And then I'm also using some jump rings, and I've just grabbed a pack of ring 136, which is an antique bronze ring mix. So other than that, the only thing I'm using is some gold finished tiger tail. I believe this is 0.45 millimeter. Anyway, it's wire 5002, available at beadboxbargains.com. All right, so to get started, I'm going to go ahead and make our little turtle link centerpiece for this bracelet. So I'm going to grab a turtle, and I'm actually, I'm going to use a head pin for this since that's what we sent with the box, but I'm going to turn it into an eye pin. I just want to show you how if you don't have eye pins, it's not a big deal. You don't have to rush out and buy some. I'm just going to string or slide that turtle right on there, and you can totally do a wire wrapped loop if you want. I'm just going to make a simple loop. I am going to make it a little larger than I normally would because these turtles have a decent sized hole. So let me make sure that's a good, yeah, that'll hold it. You see there? So I'll go ahead and close this loop up all the way. And then I'm just going to bend this up, shape it, and I'm going to trim it down and make a loop on the other end. So I'm just kind of making it into an eye pin here. And again, I'm making sort of a larger loop, so I'll leave a little bit more than I normally would, and I can actually save this part and use it for the little dangle I'm going to do off of the bracelet. I love not wasting pieces. Alright, so I'm just going to fold this part, roll this into a little simple loop. I say little, it's actually, again, larger than I would normally make it, but just doing that so that our turtle doesn't go anywhere. Alright, there we go. So now we've got a loop on either side of our turtle. And I'm just going to go ahead, because this helps me decide how long I want to make my bracelet cord. I'm going to go ahead, or the beaded portions, I'm going to go ahead and attach the clasp to our little turtle link here. So I'm going to use, I think, about a 6 millimeter ring to attach to our clasp here. Go ahead and grab that. There we go. And I'm going to, I left my jump ring opener. One moment while I go grab that. Okay, so I've got my jump ring opener tool here. I could use my pliers, but I much prefer to use this. It makes it a little easier for me to get a cleaner open and close. Alright, I'm going to, let's see, which way do I want him to face? Actually, yeah, we'll do that. Actually, I think, I'm going to go ahead and make that other little dangle really quick. So I think I'll go ahead and put my dangles on this side of the turtle. So I'm going to use a larger ring, I think an 8 millimeter, and I'm going to take one of my lava stone nuggets. I'm going to make a little wrapped dangle there. Alright, so I'll just take one of these bronze nugget beads, slide on the part of the head pin I did not use for my little eye pin there. And I'm going to try to do a wrapped loop with this. We'll see. Sometimes my wrists don't love wrapping, so this may work and it may not, but I'll just do my best either way. I'm going to form the loop. Then I'm going to, yeah, this may not be my tightest loop ever. Pull that a little tighter. Here we go. And now I'm just going to take the end. I'm going to take my ring off for this part. And I'm going to take the end and I'm going to wrap it around and pull it up. Here we go. This is going to be a rather large loop at the top. Not my best work, but I don't know what it is. We've had so much humidity and heat, and my joints are not loving me today. So I'm going to do what I can, because that is all I can do. And I don't hate that enough to redo it, so I'm going to leave it. Alright, snip that end bit off here as close as I can. And then just tuck that last little end down with the rest of the loop. There we go. Alright, I'm going to straighten my loop on top a little bit. And there we go. So I'm going to put this little dangle we've just made and also one of our seashell charms on here. And the seashell charm, I will give it a tiny little top loop here, just so it hangs the direction I want it to hang in. Here we go. Okay. So, there we are. Yep, and the smaller loops are sometimes a bit more of a pain for me, but I like being able to use the slots in the ring to close them up. There we go. Alright, so now I've got all my pieces for real this time. I'll go ahead and open up this ring and slide on my little charms here. So I'm going to put these on first, my shell, my little bronze dangle, and then I'll put my clasp on the one side and my turtle charm on the other. There we are. Okay. Oh, that's cute. It's going to be a fun ending to the bracelet. So the next thing I'm going to do is make 2 beaded strands. And I'm going to clear this up and get the beads I need out. So one moment while I get this all ready. Okay, so I'm going to now cut the cord for my bracelet. I'm going to start, I'm going to make 2 beaded strands. I guess I'll start with the orange and the bronze, and then we'll do the teal and bicones next. I've chosen these colors because honestly they make me think of turtles, and also I think they are very cute together. So I'm just going to cut a piece of wire, and I'm going to do about 12 inches. It's longer than I need, but I'd rather have a little extra than not enough. And then I'm also going to cut, because this is a new spool, I'm going to cut the little gnarled tip off there so I have some nice fresh wire to work with. Okay, first things first, let's go ahead and do a bead tip followed by a crimp bead. And if you want, you can loop the wire back around and through. I feel like my crimp bead is close enough to the wire size that I'm probably not going to have to do that. So because it's not going to be visible and I want to make sure it gets a really good grip, I'm not going to worry too much about my fancy crimping pliers. I'm just going to give it a good squash with my chain nose pliers. And now I'm going to come up here and just sort of close the clamshell over that crimp bead, and I'll give it a gentle squeeze, not too hard because I don't want to damage the finish. Just make sure we get it nice and shut like that. Looks great. Okay, so for this first strand, it's going to be a really easy pattern. I think I'm just going to do 3 orange and then a bronze. So we'll do these little orange round beads. I love the facets on these. They look like bubbles to me. Makes me happy. You get some shine. They're just really fun. And then I'm going to do one of our bronze lava stone beads. And I'm just going to continue that pattern until I think it's long enough for my wrist. So we will give this a go. For those of you who have watched the video with my car saga and the mice that decided to nest in it, first of all, it turns out they were rats, so that was a great discovery. They are all removed, and the peppermint oil has actually been doing a very good job of keeping them at bay. I have got everything detailed. I purchased an ozone machine and ran it in there for a few minutes, got rid to after the detailing, after everything had been washed, just to make sure the smell and any bacteria were taken care of. And actually, it seems to be in pretty good shape now. I was a little worried for a minute there that I was just gonna have to burn the whole thing down, but you know, we're getting there. I got these little like peppermint oil, cedarwood oil, I don't know, they're like the mouse version of a mothball, and they smell like Vicks Vapor Rub. But I put those in the trunk where the mice had nested, and we haven't seen a single sign since. It said they were good for insects, and we had a bunch of ants in my mailbox. I stuck one in there just to see, and the ants were totally gone the next day. So I've actually been pretty happy with that. Very glad to not be dealing with that anymore. So thank you all for the advice with the peppermint oil. That actually has been working great. And I do smell like an Andes mint everywhere I go right now, but there are worse things. So not mad about that. All right, we'll do maybe one more round, and then I'm gonna measure it and see if this is enough. We're getting close to once we've got our little, let's see, close to my wrist size, maybe one more. Let me see what I think here. Yeah, maybe. We'll give it a shot, and I will attach it on one side with a jump ring, and we'll see how it works. If you're a very organized person and you know your wrist length and you have all that kind of stuff worked out, you can totally just measure and deduct that from the strand length, but that is not the way I live my life, though maybe it should be. All right. So just for fun, just to see how we're doing, I'm going to go ahead and take a jump ring here. I think I'll try an 8mm. And I'm just going to attach the, I'm trying to say the clamshell bead tip here, attach this loop to the turtle so that I can see if we are at the length I want. Alright, and we will be reopening this to add the second strand, but for now, I'm just trying to get an approximate length. Okay, so that's, make sure I'm measuring, yeah, that's gonna be pretty good, I think. Maybe a little long, actually. Let me see. Yeah, that's probably gonna put me about where I want to be. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off this strand. It's a very simple little bracelet, but I love it because I love the turtles. They're just so fun. Alright, so I'm going to open up the bead tip here because I want it to be able to get kind of flush to it to finish off my strand. Though not too flush, I always like to make sure I have enough give in my tiger tail here that my beads can curve around my wrist without, because if you pull it too tight, they'll bunch up and they won't want to curl up any further than that. But I want it to sit nicely like this. So while I crimp it, I'm going to hold it like that, just to make sure there's enough play in the strand to let them move naturally that way. All right, so I'm going to squish my crimp bead here. Again, I'm not going for the pretty double fold. I am just trying to get it good and secure, because it is about to be hidden away forever. All right, I'm going to trim that and fold up my bead tip. I really like the bead tips that have a loop at each end, because whenever you put them on a jump ring, when you're finished, it's going to hold them shut and make sure that they don't go anywhere. The kind that only have like the one little thing that you fold over, I've had bad experiences with those breaking. So this is the kind that I like to use and the kind that I carry in the store. All right, so I'm not going to bother attaching it here yet, because I'm just going to have to attach the other strand too. I am going to pull it out like this so that I can measure off of it as I do my next strand, which I'll go ahead and cut the wire for now. I hope y'all are staying cool this week. It is supposed to be a hot one. But my kiddo is excited because we've had some unseasonably but very pleasantly cool weather for June, and she is ready to go to the pool. All right. Yeah, I am not a big fan of weather much over the 70s, but living in Tennessee, get used to it. It's just so humid. All right. I hear my coffee maker doing its self-clean in the background. Okay, so I've just done another crimp bead and bead tip there, and this time around I'm going to use these dark green. They just that teal. It makes me think of a turtle, your traditional green turtle. Even though I have to say, none of the turtles I've ever seen in real life have been green. They've always, around here, most of what we have are like the painted box turtles or the snapping turtles. One time when I was a kid, we found this giant snapping turtle in our yard. Like that thing, granted I was 8, but it was the biggest turtle I had seen in my life, and it was like the size of a car tire. We were very intelligent kids. We held these thick sticks in front of it, and it snapped them in half. And I went and told my mom that we found a turtle, and she was like, "Oh, pick it up, bring it here." And I was like, "No, you have to come see it." And now as a mom, I understand, "Oh, hey, look, come see this." Well, can you bring it here? That's the question you always ask, because you don't want to have to get up and run outside or whatever, because you've got something else that you're doing. But yeah, this was one of those cases where I was like, I don't think we can do that. And thankfully I did not try to pick up the gigantic snapping turtle. But that is the most impressive turtle I've seen in the wild. And he was more of a muddy brown, actually not too different color from that. But yeah, we mostly get the little painted box turtles and snapping turtles around here. I like the box turtles. They're very pretty, but they're black with like yellow, red stripy markings. So, yep. I still associate green with turtles, so I'm still going to do this pattern. I think I like this. I want to hold it up and get 2 repetitions done. I've done 5 of the teal crystals and then 1 of our bicones. So I'm going to continue that pattern, and hopefully it'll be a good length. If it's not, I'll alter it if necessary. Or I could have an uneven number of crystals on the end, I suppose, but that sort of hurts my OCD brain tendencies. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, maybe. We'll see if we can make this work. I can always do 3 at the end. I should probably have left this open instead of finishing one end, but I can always snip that clamshell crimp cover off and add or take away from this end if I need to, and then just redo it. That's the beauty of having extra string or wire available. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so I've done 4 repetitions. How are we looking here? Pretty close, actually. I may not even need, actually don't think I need this bead. I actually think that's gonna work out pretty perfectly for my wrist. Look at that. Just about the same size, maybe a tiny bit smaller. Maybe I'll add a little spacer bead. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. String one of these lava stone beads on the end to make it more or less the same length. Sometimes it's hard to find the hole in these guys. They've got so many little pits and fun texture. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I don't hate that. Do I need it? Decisions. Is it going to bother me that it's at one end and not the other? Nah, I think it's alright. I don't know about you, but I'm always like, is this going to drive me crazy later? Am I going to hate that this isn't perfect? Like exactly symmetrical? But this piece isn't super much about symmetry, so we're not going to worry too much. Okay, so I've got my clamshell here and my crimp bead. Once again, I'm going to try to leave a little bit of wiggle room, not too much. You don't want a bunch of bare wire showing, but you also don't want your beads crunched up on top of each other. So, here we go. Give that a squish and trim this off. Okay. I'm going to fold this up. Yeah, I think that's going to be cute. And maybe I'll even put it facing this direction because we don't have a lava stone bead at the beginning of this strand. I think that'll work. I think I can live with that. All right. I'm going to open up this here. Open up this jump ring and stick this on the strand. And I like to use a larger jump ring size when I'm doing this, something like this, because I don't want the strands to bunch up too much. I want them to have some movement. And I just find that a larger jump ring makes that a little bit easier. Okay, and now all I've got to do is attach the strands over on this side, which I will once again use an 8mm ring for. Okay, let's see how this goes. And I am going to try to keep them in the same order that I have them on the ring over on this side, so that I don't get a bunch of twisting. So that's going to be orange first, followed by the green. So orange first, and then my green strand. Teal, green, it's in the green family. Okay. Now I'm just gonna close it up. And there we go. There's our bracelet with our little turtle. I do think that the length of these is gonna work well. Let's try it on. There we go. Oh, look at that. I do like that. You've got colorful beads, and then you've got your turtle and your little shell. I think that's cute. It makes me happy. I like the larger jump rings with the clasp there and the little dangles. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yay! Well, that's all there is to making this little turtle bracelet. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have fun designing with your bargain bead box. If you are a member, then you received this Sunken Treasure package for $22.99 per month. If you are not a member, or you joined after the June box went out, you can still get the Sunken Treasure collection at our sister store, beadboxbargains.com, while supplies last. It is a little more expensive. It's $29.99, but it's an $80 value MSRP, so it's still a phenomenal deal. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us here. We would love to see what you create. Check out our Facebook group, the Bargain Bead Box Creative Corner, if you want to see some incredible designs made by our extremely talented members, and share yours. We'd love to see what you made. Thank you again so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay cool and happy beading.